Last night I saw the original Halloween, John Carpenter's 1978 classic, on the big screen for the first time, and it was everything I could possibly hope for. So I just want to talk about it a little bit, talk about my experience, mention some few things about the movie in general. I'm not a movie reviewer per se. Um, Usually when I do these type of things, I'll talk about some of the good things, some of the bad things. But this is John Carpenter's Halloween. It's gonna be one big blow fest. I love this movie. It's my favorite movie of all time. So when Michael Myers was 6 years old, he stabbed his sister to death. When I was 6 years old, I saw this movie for the first time. It's been about 30 years later, and I finally got to see it on the big screen, and it was amazing. So, first of all, a little bit about my experience. I had goosebumps most of the time I watched it. Um, I was planning on writing some big script about the experience, but I said, fuck it. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to drink a beer and just kind of talk casually about it. So, the first thing that happened, obviously, in the movie, the opening credits, you see the pumpkin, you see John Carpenter's Halloween, and then, introducing Laurie Strode, blah, 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 Dean Cundey, directed by John Carpenter, music by John Carpenter, etc. Oh man, like you wouldn't think that seeing something like that, fucking names on the screen, a pumpkin on the screen, would do much, especially when I've seen this movie hundreds of times, but it did. The hairs on the back of my neck were standing up. It was just so cool. Like I said, I've seen this movie so many times, but it's been so long since I've kind of sat and watched it with no distractions. So that was nice. Um, I know every line, I know everything that happens, but this was just different being on the big screen. Um, so a couple of things I noticed on the big screen that were better. I mean, everything was better, but some of the things that come to mind that were just markedly improved were some of the scenes where Michael's in the background. Um, for instance, when Annie's talking on the phone, when Loomis is at the hardware store and you see the car drive by. I mean, you always see that stuff on TV. And even me, I got a 70-inch TV, which I've watched this movie on many times, but it's just so different on this huge, wide screen. It's amazing. The other thing that really stood out to me, which is what I kind of figured going in, was the score and the music just being amped up. I got a sound bar at home. I got everything, but there's nothing like hearing that on the big screen, and it was amazing. So piggybacking off of that, some of the other stuff that I really liked that just jumped to mind right now would be when Michael sits up in the background at the end of the movie after Laurie sends the kids to the Mackenzie's house. Michael's, he sits up and he turns his head, and just seeing that, on the big screen, I just wanted to start cheering. Uh, Another thing that I really liked was Loomis's speeches. Like I said, I can recite them verbatim. I met this 6-year-old child with the blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. I spent 8 years, blah blah blah. If you're watching this video, I'm sure you know the fucking speech. Hearing that on the big screen, awesome, awesome, awesome. Like I said, this is just one big blow fest for this movie because it is without a doubt my favorite movie ever. And seeing it last night in theaters did absolutely nothing to change that. I wish I was alive back then to see the initial reaction. I actually did watch a reaction video a couple weeks ago from a live audience back then when Michael sits up in the background and you just hear him going, no, and cheering and shit like that. Had to be incredible. Because you got to remember, back then, they didn't have the tropes that we have now that Halloween helped create. The unstoppable killer that keeps coming back. Things like that. That wasn't around back then. So now, when it happens in a movie, even a movie you've never seen, you kind of expect it. Back then, it didn't happen. So this kind of set the template, which other movies obviously took off from there. But this was the first of its kind. So it had to just be an incredible experience seeing it for the first time. Just amazing. Sticking with back then. So this movie came out obviously in 78. I don't remember exactly how many theaters it was in, But, you know, it was just in a few theaters, 20, 30, 40, something like that. And it didn't actually do that great opening weekend. But then word of mouth started coming. Word of mouth. Hey, this movie's fucking scary. You know, an article was written in the newspaper, the scariest, I don't know if they said scariest movie of all time, but something like that. Um, you know, and word of mouth hit. You know, there's no Twitter, there's no internet, there's no texting, no cell phones even. You know, this movie just, you know, was like a snowball rolling down the hill. The more people found out, and the more popular it became. It was in theaters for a long time. I don't want to sit here and tell you any numbers or anything like that. 'Cause to be honest, I'm not exactly sure, so I don't want to give the wrong information. But it's just incredible the way the movie, you know, just snowballed like that. It's such a testament to what Carpenter did. And everyone on Dean Cundey, you know, Tommy Lee Wallace, everyone involved with the production. Deborah Hill, obviously, sorry about that, can't forget her. Um, Everyone just did such a remarkable job, and that's why I'm sitting here talking about this movie over 40 years after it came out. We have the sequel last year. We have another sequel after that, another sequel after that. Fuck that, but whatever. It just shows the popularity of this movie, and it's touched so many people. Um, my life would not be the same without this movie. It sounds so stupid to say out loud, but it's true. Um, this movie means everything to me. I am obsessed with it. I'm gonna continue to watch it. Even all the sequels that are shit shows and garbage, I'm gonna continue to watch them. I love this franchise. I'm more of a purist per se. By that I mean I love the first one. I like the second one a lot. You could say I love the second one. It's my favorite sequel. But after that, you know, I could take most of them or leave them. I like Halloween 3, I like Halloween 4, but nothing will ever touch the original. I wish they would have kept Michael the way he was in the original, the true intent of the character before the brother sister garbage, before you see him just walking around. You know, he's there and he's gone. Uh, and that's one thing that really was effective on the big screen. Uh, I thought they just did a marvelous job. Next time this movie's on the big screen, I'm going to see it again and again after that. If it's every year, it was just an incredible experience, and I can't wait to see it again. So, if you like this movie, if you like this franchise, uh, subscribe to my channel because I got a lot of cool shit coming out. I got some new video editing software that I'm going to really start amping things up. A lot of cool shit that I really got planned. I'm not just going to focus on Halloween. There's going to be all the other slasher franchises, maybe some other movies that kind of tickle my fancy, so to speak. But I got a lot planned, so come back and enjoy. Thank you.